the drag one, because I cannot remember the first audition I ever did. My first drag show experience was also accidental. I had no idea that drag kings even existed. I know about drag queens, but even then I like knew some like drag queen brunches, and that's about it. Maybe Sir Religious, but I've never seen any of the drag reality TV shows. But anyway, a friend of mine was doing a fundraiser, and she was like, hey, have you done drag? And I was like, no. And she was like, well, you're an actor. Do you want to do it? And I was like, sure. Why not? And I frantically was Googling and YouTubing like drag kings, but there wasn't that much at the time. A few things here and there. And at the end of the day, I was like, whatever, F it. I'm just gonna do an impersonation of a dude and then make it happen, right? I say dude, but I ended up choosing Ricky Martin, so, you know. I will say that my very first drag performance, I had no idea what I was doing. I was not packing, I was not taping or binding, which you don't have to do that when you're doing drag, but just like at the time I was like, I had no idea what's happening. And my makeup was like essentially like a block. I had no texture. There was like nothing going on. Yeah, I really was just like, done.
You said about photos, so we get photos.
Oh, there's photos somewhere in there. But I am a performer, right? So I did choreograph like a dance, and I had like, moments of the song that I was gonna do. And so I just sang one song as Ricky Martin, and doing the performance and getting on that stage and being seen as a sensual being with a masculine persona absolutely like hit something inside of me that just was like, what is going on? Like, it's just like a key went into the thing and it was about to pop, and I was like, I'm not ready for that. What is going on? So I had a little bit of a panic, but I knew that I wanted to do it again. And then fast forward 6 months later, I did it again as Freddie Mercury, which then I was like, that performance was, and now I did a little bit more. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the thing, I'm doing that, and I like studied Freddie Mercury's like physical movements and really went all out on that one, like the way that I was moving, the way that I was walking, everything. And that's when I allowed the lock to like pop a little bit and like peak and be like, what's going on? Why am I feeling such euphoria, right? And I've realized that I was drawn to impersonating men who are comfortable with their femininity. And then moving forward, I started to craft my own like Vico persona, and then mixing songs and using my culture as a way to just tell stories. I use Spanish songs, and I make sure that my drag performances, even if you don't understand the lyrics, visually you understand what's going on, whether I'm like falling in love or having my heart broken or whatever that may be, you understand what's going on just by watching. You don't have to understand the lyrics. And I had a little bit of burlesque in there because why not? I don't know. But it's been really fun. But yeah, the first one, I'll find a photo of that makeup because I was struggling with listen. I'll struggle listen. Anyway, I'm listening while I look.
I just remember going to this place where there was a bunch of guys that looked like me, and I was like, oh, this was, and then they were all like warming up, like, so strap in his lot. I remember I sat next to them, and because they were warming up, I just started warming up. It's the kind of thing. And then I went into the room and I did the audition. But before I did the audition, I had to send in a headshot. And I didn't know what a headshot was, so I took a selfie and sent it to the production. And they were like,
"That's incredible."
Oh, and I was probably like, sweet. And then they were like, oh, Samson, that's not a headshot. So I was like, okay, let me go and get a headshot. So I had to find someone that could do my headshots. And they were like, oh yeah, so it's 100 and what? I said, all right, go on then. And then I sent the headshot in, and I've been using the same headshot since 2018 till today. I haven't changed it. Yeah. So that was my first audition. I got the job.
I kind of cheated because my first audition would have been after I was already quite a semi-famous actor. This is I was in Flight of the Conchords. Even though I can't mention that. I did an audition for that, so obviously that's just, you know, that was just me and my mates. They got a show and they said, oh, you want to come and be in this? I went, oh, yeah. Give it a whirl, never been to America. And then from that, and then once I started getting into, you know, having to audition, it's terrible. It's not easy. It's you know, it's the hardest thing for actors.
Yeah, auditions are wild, because when I started auditioning in the very beginning, I was deeply trying to present as what society like wanted me to present as, and I thought that I was like really surveying little did I know at the time. I found the photo. Let's see if this is old and kind of pixelated. It's a little bit. I really was trying to. I was trying to like use a sponge to create like a like stubbles, but then it just like I went a little too hard and it just became like a massive block everywhere. But it was fine, you know. Like it happens.
With, like you were saying, you know, you end up in a room or in a corridor, right, with people that look like you, which is weird. This is like, what's happening here? What is happening? Because you're all going for the same part, you know, and so it's gone out to the agents will be looking for, and but I had already done, you know, I'd already been in a pretty successful comedy series, and so I already had confidence even before that, so I was a stand-up and still am, and you know, I'm used to being in front of crowds and you know, blah blah blah, but anyway. So I'm in this corridor, there's a few, and I could see people look at me, and one chap went, oh no. And the performer in me just took that and went, that's right folks, you're wasting your time. Yeah, 2 of them walked out. Anyway, got the part very easily. And then I've since seen, you know, on we're looking for a Rhys Darby type, you know, on the sheet when I've gone in there. So they go, look to me, Elliot. But the other side of that coin is that, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I'm not appropriate for, and I get auditions for things like I got an audition for True Detective, but that was never going to happen. I was never.
I would see that show. I would totally see that show. Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been a different show.